Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Spiritual Realism, honest and joyful explorations of ideas to help us align with our true spiritual purpose and live with courage and connection. I am your host, artist Jacqueline Claire, mermaid of the airwaves, here to take your hand and go on some deep dives together. And today I want to talk about one of the most universal, important, repetitive, yet ineffable spiritual principles / practices. And I am talking about forgiveness. And ineffable, hard to grasp, hard to understand, hard to practice, wrap your head around, at least for me. I don't know if you relate to this. I am a student of spirituality. I love religion. I love the interplay of spirituality and psychology. This whole channel is about these explorations. I'm interested in woo. I love woo. I love all of this stuff. But I do have a challenge where the rubber meets the road, because I'm actually a very earthbound, taurine, stubborn person. And my inner experience, my daily experience, is not very mystical. So forgiveness is one of those really hard proof things. Do you feel peace or not in relation to this person or to this experience? And we've all heard forgiveness is not only something God has pretty much commanded us to do, but also that forgiveness will free you and you will actually be happier when you forgive this person who did you wrong. There's a positively selfish element to it. So we all want forgiveness. We know it's the right thing to do. We know we might even feel better. But how? How do we do it when we're hurting? When we didn't ask for the assault, the wounding, the attack, whatever it was, the unfairness that has left us in the situation with a cross to bear, that has left us feeling any number of emotions that need to be forgiven. We feel resentful, we feel angry, we feel sad, sorrowful, betrayed. These are just some examples. So I have some reflections to share with you, and I think they will actually be very practical and very helpful. The I don't know how to say it. The thing with spirituality is that as much as super practical earthy people like me love it, but want a how-to on how to do it, there is no how-to. And that is part of the practice. The exploration is part of the destination. However, I do have some practical tips that I believe will help you bridge the gap. We need practices so that we can figure it out for ourselves. So I have a prayer, I have a practice, and I have some reflections that may apply more to different types of relationships and different scenarios. Okay, before we move on, first I want to invite you to comment at any time, particularly your reflections, your experience with forgiveness. It will further the conversation and hopefully help other people. Also, remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps. Okay, so let's just recap a bit. We know forgiveness is good for us, but how to do it? We didn't ask to be in this situation, right? If forgiveness was an easy switch to flip, we would do it, right? But it's challenging because we didn't ask to be hurt. We didn't ask to now be left with this black soup of an emotion. But now, for our own good and for their good and everyone's good, we're supposed to forgive them. And forgiveness is This is not a dictionary definition, but forgiveness is being at peace with the situation and the person, feeling a lightness, being able to bless that person, being able to namaste, the God in me sees the God in you. Some element of peace and blessing to the person and the situation. So that's how we're going to define forgiveness. And the prayer I want to offer you is just very raw prayer that I stumbled upon. And mine was a situation where I was not likely to see the person again. So, some sort of separation. This is good if somebody has passed away and you're just not going to be able to talk to them anymore. Where it's not where you're really trying to mend the relationship particularly. And also because there is a separation, you don't feel in control of the narrative of how things went down. And maybe there's other people involved as well. Okay, so this very raw prayer that I think will help you is, may that person deeply, truly, as if they were inside my own heart, understand how their actions made me feel. Not intellectually, not reading it in a letter, not having somebody else tell them. No, deeply, when you are at your most raw, hurt, broken feeling from the situation. Dear God, one day, somehow, and I will never know, but can they please feel what I am feeling right now so that they understand? So it's a comfort that one day God will help them, not just to feel what you feel, like as if somebody else did the thing to them that they did to you. No, that they understand that you felt this way, and can they feel it from inside your body as if they were you. And I think when we're in pain, often that's really what we want. We want it to go away, yes, but we also want somebody to know how we feel, particularly the one who hurt us. So it gives a peace that you will get ultimately what you want. And often we don't identify that. And so we just yell, scream, act out, do all kinds of stuff, really just because we want somebody to know how badly we feel hurt. So may they please understand deeply, viscerally, how I have been made to feel. And the second part is, and in the meantime, may I be released from the desire to see them hurt, harmed, suffer. The list goes on. Anything that could be loosely defined as retaliation or revenge, may I be free from that desire. And may I take comfort in knowing that someday God will help them to understand my pain. And you may not be able to check the box of, okay, I forgave them with that. But this prayer has really walked me through situations and kept me from endless frustration or negative ideations, or acting out in ways that would exacerbate the problem or embarrass me in the future. And there is a possibility that this prayer is simply an alignment with reality. It is possible that everyone will confront the visceral effects of their actions in this life or in the next. So to make this prayer not only like gives us a sense of peace and comfort, and something else cool I was going to say with that, not only gives us a sense of peace and comfort, and also this sense of connection with that other person, which maybe is underlying the pain, wanting to connect and have them understand. But it's also just aligning with what might be spiritual reality, that one way or another they will have to confront that. And so and those are the best prayers, I believe, and I think the Lord's Prayer, may thy will be done, we're just like aligning with what is real. Okay. So that's the prayer, and I'll give you the practice in a moment. But I want to explore a little bit more some different aspects of forgiveness and in different relationships. So let's say your situation you need to forgive is more of an ongoing situation. It's a relationship that you either can't or don't want to put aside. In-laws, parents, siblings, those are some of the primary ones. Marriage is a little bit of a different category, because ideally you've chosen a situation where you are less likely to have these like repeat meddling, needling kind of hurts. And also you have more of a commitment to each other to evolve and change together. Relationships with siblings, parents, in-laws, that sort of thing, you didn't commit. You just found yourself in a sense of connection. And we love these people. They have the capacity to hurt us. And it's very common that there are misalignments in elements of our personality or our value systems. Maybe somebody is very, very critical, and that's their way of showing love, is to criticize and tell you how to be better, but that's not how it's received. Or maybe someone is, has sort of a flighty mind, and they are very forgetful and they don't show up for things. They're always late, or they, they'll take a phone call with someone else or entertain someone else while like you've made time to spend time with them, that sort of thing. So like these ongoing offenses. What I recommend in these situations is to take responsibility for your own offense, for your own hurt, because there's a problem. So you can try to fix something. You cannot make them change. People rarely change, and they pretty much never change when we try to make them to. And that's often what happens in families and close relationships that are contentious. We're always sort of trying to convert and to change and hoping you'll change. And did you change? And this sort of thing. Take responsibility. They are not going to change. I need to change. I can limit my time with them, but ultimately what everybody wants in relationship is to be loved and understood and accepted. So we take responsibility for that. We work on accepting them in their critical nature, in their flighty nature, whatever it is. And when we have reached a point where we feel we could talk to them about it without anger, without making a demand, then it's the most beautiful thing to approach them and say, look, maybe I've yelled at you, maybe I've acted out in the past about these things that you do, but I don't know if I've ever just told you how it makes me feel. And again, you're saying this not as an attack, not as an accusation, and not from a place of anger. You've worked on it. You're committing to accept them. Not to them, doesn't matter. In your own heart, committing to accept them. But because we're all walking each other home, and we give each other these invitations to learn and to grow, and it might improve your relationship, you approach them and say, I just want to share with you that these things that you do, or these things that you have done, this is how it makes me feel. It makes me feel very small. It makes me feel like I'm not a priority to you. It makes me feel like you don't like me. You like somebody else more. Whatever it is. And I wish you would be on time more often. But I'm not asking you to. That's really the crux of what I'm saying. You share the thing, but it's not a request to change. Because then it's like they're beholden to you, and you're going to measure it and expect. You're not expecting them to change. You're just sharing the way it has made you feel, but that you're working on accepting them. But I wanted you to know this. And there is, just in the conversation, there is an open invitation for that person to become more aware of their behavior and maybe change. And they probably will, like 10%. And that's better than nothing. But again, it's not a ploy. It's like just a genuine relationship builder. But of course, wouldn't you want to know? I certainly would like to know how my behavior is affecting someone, and I would want to change. So there is a good chance that they want to. But again, like, this is one of those spiritual practices that you may get the thing you want, but you can't be secretly aiming for that thing. It's just a relationship builder. And similar to the prayer when you may never see the person again and you just want them to know how you have felt, if we do confront the effect of our actions, either in this life or the next, you're actually just helping them out in a way. You're helping both parties out. And when either party passes away, even if nothing ever changes, but you've had this discussion and you have made the commitment while they are alive and with you to try to accept them no matter what, you will both be so much more free when they pass on, or you pass on. But and in that greater lightness, the sorrow of somebody passing on is much less, because you're just grieving them not being there. You're not grieving the discussions you never had and the open doors you never gave each other. So here is a wonderful, wonderful practice to help you accept your loved ones, forgive hurtful situations, many, many scenarios. And I got it from this book called Emotional Healing and 3 Easy Steps by Praying Medic. His name is Dave Hayes, Praying Medic. Really simple, really great. He's a wonderful author. I recommend his book. Okay, so these are the practical steps for forgiving and releasing emotional pain. So you call on God, you call on your creator, however you pray, to Jesus, Baha'u'llah, the universe, Lord God. Put an address on the letter, send it. Dear God, this feeling right here, right now, and you go into the depths of the bad memory or the bad feeling, and this anger, this sorrow, this heat in my chest, however you define this black energy that you want to be freed from. Dear God, this feeling right here, this bad, this hurt, this feeling of abandonment. Step 1, please take this feeling from me. Dear God, please take this feeling from me. Step 2, please heal this wound in my soul. God, please heal this wound in my soul. And step 3 is to receive. Lord, I receive your healing. receive your healing. You can use this for anything. This sword I'm holding over XY person in my head, like, please take this from me. Please take this desire for revenge from me. Please take this devastation from me, this feeling of betrayal from me. Please heal this wound in my soul, and I receive your healing. And you can say that several times in one session and check in, like, is the feeling any lighter? And you can keep saying it. This peeling the layers of the onion every time you're reminded of the pain, to say this prayer, and it will get lighter. It will get lighter. And that's how we can really forgive and accept our loved ones. So many things this practice can empower us with. And one more scenario, I'm going to move from that into, let's say you have a relationship with somebody who is ideally still alive, but they're not an ongoing part of your life. It's more of a distant relation at this point, a step parent or an ex or a sibling that you've created distance with. You can go to that person when you have come to a place of peace with the offense. Maybe you feel like you've forgiven them, and that would be ideal, but maybe you're just making great strides. And you go to them, again, without any expectations, without any requests. You just go and share with them how their actions affected you. Back in the day, this thing happened. You made the choices that you made. This is how it affected me. This is how it influenced my life. I acted out for years, or I could never trust men or women or whatever. And I just want you to know that. And I also want you to know that I forgive you, or I am forgiving you. And you're just sharing it as part of your healing. And again, on some level, I think there is a spiritual benefit to them, because in this life or the next, they're going to have to confront this. I hope, I believe. And so it's actually part of their healing too, but I wouldn't say anything like sanctimonious or self-righteous. You're sharing it as part of your healing to let them know how their actions affected you and that you forgive them. And don't expect them to say sorry. Don't expect them to give you a hug, and don't expect them to receive it well at all. If they do, that's beautiful, but they may not, and that's not the expectation. And if you're really feeling like a spiritual warrior and can mean it, you can also add, and by the way, I apologize for resenting you, or I hope you will forgive me for resenting you all these years, or holding this sword above your head in my own mind, whatever it is. I hope you will forgive me for holding this negative view of you and not having let this go sooner. So try these out, or maybe you already have, maybe you have your own techniques. Please let me know. Let's become these spiritual warriors that the world needs. And again, forgiveness is just so practical. We have to do it over and over again in our lives for past situations, present, future, all kinds. Somebody hurts our feelings in the grocery store. Like, we are emotional beings, and forgiveness is such a core for having a light heart and a light spirit, and being ready really to meet our maker, to having our heart be light, so that we're always open to what life has for us, and we're not clouded by negativity and old baggage. All right, my friends, thanks for joining. Remember, like, subscribe, check out the links if you'd like to support my work. Share this video with somebody that you love. And until next time, I wish you the best for playing your unique part in making this world a better place. I will catch you next time. Bye-bye.